Ah, SAO. People love it, people hate it, and some people are in. Well, actually, I don't think anyone's in between. It's basically like Marmite. You love it or hate it. But there's no denying one thing with SAO. It is one of the most iconic and popular anime and light novel of all time. But unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, a lot of people like to hate on it, like to meme on it, and like to just literally just disregard it, which I do believe is quite unfair. But do not get it twisted. This anime is far from perfect. It has a lot, and I mean a lot of questionable scenes, like this, and well, actually, not this. Even though this might be one of the darkest scenes in the whole entire series, the actual storytelling and context going into it is actually really good. But that's a topic for another time. But with me saying all that, there is one thing even the haters would agree. Well, actually, there's a few. The soundtrack is top 3 of all time, the animation's top tier, and the pilot episode is one of the greatest of all time. Yeah, you know it's true, haters. Yes, you. But why is that? Easy. Immediate high stakes from the get-go. See, the premise of SAO wastes no time. 10,000 players are trapped in a VR game, where death in-game means death in reality. This already creates instant tension with a clear survival imperative that drives the narrative forward. This is very important, see, because Kirito, our main protagonist, well, he might as well just be a side character at this moment in time, because it's not one of these moments where, because he's the MC, every step he takes, every interaction he has, every action he does is a reason why all the bad stuff is happening, like you get in a lot of forms of storytelling. Sometimes that can be a good thing, sometimes it can be a bad thing, but here he literally just might as well just be a side character. He's just one of the 10,000 people who's just here trying to have a good time to play the game. Why is that though? Well, it's because this has been a plan in the making, a trap by the creator of Sword Art Online, Akihiko Kaiba, which we find out around halfway through the episode. And I love that's the way it's executed, because as I said, because we're following Kirito through his eyes, of course he has more of that MC syndrome. But at this moment in time, he's not doing anything special. He's literally helping Klein out about how to kill a boar. Like, that's it. And I love it. It's just all innocent. But it's when we get to the point when him and Klein can't log out. And this is when this episode for me just transforms from like a 6 or 7 to an instant 10 out of 10. Because the way the tonal shift changes is unreal. But what actually happens though? So this is where we get to the iconic town square scene. And as I mentioned earlier, this is where the tonal shift change visually as well. Because you have this nice yellow sunset sky. People are kind of a little bit panicky. They're wondering what's going on, why are they all being summoned here? And then bam, Akihiko Kaiba literally appears out of nowhere in the sky with this weird Grim Reaper red cloaked figure looking goo thing. And the whole aesthetic, the whole cinematography, the whole color contrast changes. And yet again, it's just going from 0 to 100 real quick. But what I love is that not only does he just appear, the way he's talking about what's going on, like within the death game rules, he's literally speaking so nonchalantly. He's just like, yeah, 200 people have already died. Yeah, don't remove the nerve gear. If you do, your brain gets fried. Oh yeah, by the way, if you die in the game, you die in real life. You know, I just created this because I wanted people to experience my world. Oh, one more thing, guys. Yeah, there's 100 floors. Like, what? I'm not gonna lie, if I'm curious, I'm thinking, seriously, 100 floors? Can't it just be like 50, 100? No, I'm done out here. The visual spectacle in this episode is through the roof. Now, I already mentioned it earlier a bit with the colour contrast, especially in the Kaiba scene. But the way this episode showcases Aincrad's scale and beauty, like, remember, this is a massive floating castle with 100 floors, but it's a bit of an illusion, right? Especially when we, as the viewer, and obviously the players in the moment as well, first enter SAO. See, it's this contrast between the game's fantasy appeal. For example, when Kirito first arrives into the town, what do you see? Bright lights, or it's the sunshine, daytime, there's jolly music playing, everyone's happy, everyone's having a good time, they're talking about teaming up, what they're going to do. Obviously everyone's there just thinking, look, we're going to play this for a few hours and then we're going to dip. And obviously we've seen the contrast change, right? And it's just this sudden transformation into a prison / death game. It's very striking. And by the way, the animation quality in this episode and the whole entire series in general, but especially in this episode, still holds up so insanely well after 14 years. It really is truly impressive. And it's very important, right, to really capture them certain moments, especially when you want the animation to shine. Like I said, this is doing a lot of visualization storytelling. So it really needs to pick its moments in terms of when it wants to show off and contrast them colours and that aesthetic. And obviously the cinematography, it's just insane. But what cements this episode for me in terms of putting it as one of the greatest pilots I've ever seen in an anime is its ending, or basically when the credits roll. And what do I mean by that? Well, it leaves questions, because as soon as that episode ends, you're kind of like, Kirito, what do I do here from now? What's going to happen? And obviously for me, when I was watching it, and no doubt all of you guys, you're probably figuring it out yourself. How are they going to get out of this predicament? Are they going to clear all 100 floors? What other trials and tribulations are going to go on? Who's going to live? Who's going to die? Now, obviously, for all of us who have seen the show, they do get out of it. It ends after 14 episodes, unfortunately. There is a reason why it's only 14 episodes, because there is a lot of time skip. But I can't remember another anime where after the first episode, it really kind of just sets up the whole entire end game of what this is and what it's going to be and what the main goal is. Yes, some anime kind of give you a general premise, but there's so many sort of twists and turns. No, with Sword Art Online, especially with the Aincrad arc, that's it. Even with all the different little mini plot lines that go on throughout the Aincrad arc, it's all still building towards that one main goal, trying to beat all 100 floors to escape. And it really is truly impressive. Like I said, I kind of wish it went on for a bit longer, but the way they managed to capture it, especially from different sides of how people are sort of interacting and operating in this world, especially as time goes on. Because by the way, if I didn't tell you, they spend over 2 years here. It takes them over 2 years before they get out, and they don't even reach the 100th floor. They get to floor 74, and then obviously Kirito defeats Kaiba, and obviously the whole world gets destroyed and everyone's able to log out apart from Asuna. But that's an arc for another time and a story for another time. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? When you watched SAO for the first time, did you have the same sort of feelings and opinions as I did? What made you keep watching? What was the hook and appeal? Or maybe it wasn't the first episode. Maybe it was the second, third, fourth, fifth. Maybe it was the second season. I don't know. Please let me know down in the comments down below. I don't know if I just said that right. But yeah, you know, SAO is one of my favourite anime. I'm a massive anime fan. I've got many more videos on the way, but not only just anime, I've got manga coming as well. There's a lot of franchises out there and shows and manga that don't really get talked about enough, even though they might actually have a bit of a popular fan base. I don't see them anywhere on YouTube, and I kind of want to cover them sort of shows, even though SAO is kind of going against what I just said because it's a very popular anime, but I'm trying to talk about it in a positive light because I really do generally love this show. But I'm curious though, what would you like to see? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Sweet.